Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing Goodnight Punpun by Inio Asano. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. This definitely put me in the mood after reading it. I read this a couple days ago, and for like the past couple days, I've just been feeling so like groggy and like weird, and I don't even know how to explain it. If you don't know what Goodnight Punpun's about, it's about this guy named Punpun. It kind of starts when he's like a kid in like elementary school, and it's until he's like kind of in his early and mid 20s as an adult, and it's basically like a coming to age slice of life kind of story. And I think it's a very unique slice of life story, because it does cover like very dark themes about, you know, suicide, mental illness, you know, depression and stuff like that. And if you do suffer from any of those, do not read this. If I were to take anything away from this manga, it would be to take mental illness seriously. If you are depressed, you know, like get help, get the help you need. Unlike Punpun here, which got no help, and it's just one bad thing after another, and it's just so many bad things happen to Punpun. It's just kind of insane. Of course, it has its happy moments, rarely, but most of the time it's just very sad and depressing. So basically the thing about Punpun, the character Punpun, is that after like suffering from so many different, you know, traumatic experiences and, you know, different types of tragedies, he kind of just accepts that, and whenever something bad happens to it, he's just like, oh, another bad thing, you know, and that is something you should definitely not do. But that's kind of what he does, and he just kind of accepts the fact that he's depressed, and, you know, nothing can change that. And that like pessimistic mindset of his life kind of, you know, turned his life upside down, I think, and kind of made him to who he was at the end of the story. I'm not gonna spoil anything, because I think going into this manga, you have to like know nothing about it, like the events that unfold, to, you know, get the full experience. But it's definitely something that you shouldn't read if, you know, you're depressed or, you know, suffering from any mental illness, because it could even put you in like a deeper state of depression if you are depressed. And it's just, you should read it if you're up for it, and if you know, you think if you can take it in, if you know what I'm trying to say. But with all that aside, I just talking about something else. The artwork is phenomenal. The 2 panel pages that, you know, pop up, they're just so gorgeous to look at, and they're very detailed. It's very, very pleasing to look at, and it's definitely amazing. Also, in Goodnight Punpun, his like immediate family and him are portrayed as these like bird people. They're not actually bird people, they are real people. But I think the very cool thing about this is that the different kind of expressions he has as this bird person. So like, you know, he could like become this weird alien creature, and he could, you know, it's very hard to like explain it. I'll show some pictures on screen right now, but you could see how, you know, it's his like original form as a bird, and then, you know, when he turns into something else, you know, that's kind of like who he is at that moment. It's very hard to explain. You have to read it to kind of understand it. I just really like how, you know, he did that. And also, to add on to that, about his immediate family, I really like how it goes over, you know, some of his family's life as well, kind of like his uncle Yuichi. Kind of like, also he has like his own kind of thing, that like in his own struggles and his own problems. So he doesn't really have a lot of time to focus on Punpun, because, you know, Punpun is like, you know, struggling a lot through this entire manga. But his immediate family can't really help him, because they're, you know, they have their own problems to deal with, and it's just brutally realistic. And I kind of like these different arcs, like kind of his classmates as well have like their kind of like their own story as well, and how they kind of like intertwine, and how, you know, his classmates also have, you know, their struggles they're dealing with, and it kind of shows how they're dealing with theirs, and how Punpun is dealing with his you know, different struggles, and it's just very sad. So now I'm gonna be talking about some spoilers, so either click out the video now, or I have a timestamp to where I won't, you know, spoil anything, so just click that, and if you don't want to get spoiled. But with that out of the way, I guess I'll talk a little bit more in depth about it with spoilers. So here I go. The thing I don't like about this is I didn't really like the cult kind of storyline with the cult and everything. I thought that was kind of pointless. How like, oh, this at this date the end of the world's gonna happen, and he kind of just got a group of people. I felt like that was just unnecessary. I think it's just kind of, I don't know, it just made it weird. I know it kind of like it connected to forgot his name, Seki's story, kind of. It kind of connected the Colt and Seki's friend and everything. But I still think that it was, I didn't enjoy reading that part, but that's pretty much the only thing I didn't really enjoy reading. Other than that, everything else was, you know, it was a masterpiece. I loved it. But with that out of the way, I think this is definitely not for the light-hearted people and for people who are depressed or mentally ill, because it does cover very, very, very dark themes about suicide, and it's just overall a dark manga that I don't think people who are struggling through these things should, you know, pick up. But if you do end up reading it, try to get something out of it, like, you know, something positive out of it, instead of, you know, just like being like me and, you know, feeling depressed for a couple of days. I've definitely learned a lot of things about life through this manga. It's very educational, so try to kind of put your mindset at that, because after reading it you will feel it's very hard to explain. You just kind of have to read it and go through it, and experience it yourself. But with that out of the way, I definitely would recommend anyone to read it. It is rated 18 plus. I think mostly because of, you know, the very dark themes it covers. There also is like, you know, like there is like nudity and stuff like that in this as well, but not in the fan service type of way. It is very serious. So if you have the right state of mind, I think definitely anyone could read it. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Hopefully guys, you did enjoy my review. This is it's a unique masterpiece that I loved all the way through. And I think that you should pick it up as well. So thank you guys for watching. See ya.